Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Welcome in my class Indonesian Economic, and I wanna say hello to my new friend from the Walailak University. Welcome in Indonesia and welcome in my class. So my name is Indri. You can call me Ibu Indri or Ma'am Indri. Now I am as your lecturer for this class until the end of this class. So we will have a 4 meeting, and then this is our first meeting. I want to share to you about the video, and is it about lesson learning for our topic today? Okay, it will be a short video for our lesson today. So we will gonna discuss about the definition of the economic growth, and then a second about the ADAS curve and natural resources, and then the third about the understanding poverty, and the last we will talk about the inequality. So during this class, I will tell you about the basic theory, and then I will make a comparison between Indonesia and Thailand of our economic development, and of course about our GDP, inequality, poverty, and the other. Okay, we start from the economic growth. And economic growth is necessary to keep the promise to each generation. If you look for this picture, is it a tree? That is a very beginning, or we can say a baby tree, and then they always grow up until they will have a big root, and then the other. So the economics, something like that. So we must continue our development, and then we must keep every instrumental that we think it can be some factor, can give a positive impact or maybe negative impact of our country for keep our economic development, or maybe our economic growth is always increasing. And then we have a 4 factor of the production. It will be a success factor for the economic growth, such as natural resources, and then human capital, and then capital goods, and the last is about the entrepreneurship. So I do not want to clearly explain to you guys, because in a class we will have a discussion about it. Okay, let's move to the explanation of the GDP. We call the gross domestic product. And its meaning is the total value of all the goods and services produced in that country in 1 year. So in every single country, we'll have a calculation of a lot of sector, and then how can they increase, how can they have a growth in every single sector, and then in every country we'll count it. Now, if you see there's a formula, how can the country can calculate how many GDP amount or maybe value about every single country. Seems like I have a GDP for capita. GDP per capita, it's mean a lot of like amount of the GDP, and then we can divide with a lot of population, but we can counting the population with every single like head of the family of it. And then for the people income on an average to increase over time, GDP growth rate, it will be more higher, yeah, than the rate of the population growth. So this is a good condition of the country. Okay, guys, now I have a graph in this picture of the economic growth ASEAN in 2020. So you can see that is a between Indonesia and then Thailand. It is still near, I think, about the value of the economic growth. Thailand more higher than Indonesia and is around 70 billion, and then Indonesia, it's around 3 billion. Now, when we talk about the economic growth, so we know when we want to have a good economic growth, so there will be a good factor, like a success factor that I said before, yeah, in the first, and that is a 4 factor of it. And once is the natural resources. you know, natural resources like water and then air and then maybe land. Yeah. Now you think natural resources will have a good impact if we must take care of it. Seems like you have a money and you will keep in a bank. If you always have like investment of your money, you will increasing the amount of your money. But if you every day always take your money day by day and then you take it, and you know what, maybe you will have a loss of your money, because money have a limited, and it seems like natural resources there is a limited amount. So if we always take and every day we take it, or maybe we never care about how can we have a good investment for the natural resources. So I think and I believe that you have the same opinion with me. There will be a disaster, or maybe there will be have a bigger problem of the economic growth in this country. So guys, that's why we must saving and we must investment. Saving and investment, it's a different meaning. If you do saving method, maybe you will have a limited amount if you want to take some part of it, like you don't want to take a full of it. But if you want to do some investment, so you will grow some the other part that will have a link of it. So if you do one investment like for the capital agriculture, so it will be have a good impact, right, for the next generation. And then in addition to capital do not automatically lead to growth. Like if we want to have a new tree, like I have example in the first picture. It do not mean like when I want to have a tree today, I have a baby tree, and then for tomorrow they will be grow up like the old tree, have a big leaf, have a strong root and not like it. So we have so long time of it. So it's the meaning of the investment. Now we talk about the export and import. So we know export and import as an open trade. Every single country have a relationship with the other. Like Indonesia, we have a one same group, like Indonesia and Thailand in the ASEAN group. So I have a commodity to export, and then you have a commodity to export to my country, and we said when we receive your commodity, so we call it an import. So I have in Indonesia like the coconut, avocado, guava, and the etc. And then for the import commodity, we have sugar, and then rice, processed fish product, and motorcycle. So it's mean when we want to export some product of our country, it's mean we have an excess of it. And when we want to have an import, and we hope the other country can fulfill our needed, so we call it import. So this is just a little or maybe simple explanation, and we hope we can give a good explanation in our class. Now beside me there is a graph for a poverty condition in Indonesia. We said this condition in 2021, but I got a data that's before a pandemic COVID-19. So I present to you about this data. We know Indonesia poverty more still higher than Thailand. So because we have more higher amount of like citizen, and then we have still problem in employment. So when we have some topic of the poverty, we must agree first about what the meaning of the poverty. So in Indonesia we have like ministry for guiding us to development. So based on the data, we call it for the poverty condition, if you have an expenditure less than $1 in one day. So we call it you in the poverty condition, because we have two meaning of the poverty. The first is about the absolute definition, and then the second about the relative definition. If the absolute, we can call, or maybe we can have a same meaning, or maybe measurement from the like the World Bank. Yeah, seems like World Bank said that if you are like a poor person, your expenditure just less than $1. Okay, but for the relative one, relative, you can judge yourself as a poor person and you in the poverty condition. Because of what? Because I cannot buy like the luxury car, I cannot live in the good apartment and nothing like that. So a relative is just for your judging for the other person. So guys, this is the last explanation, and then this is our reference, book reference for today. If you want to read by yourself, it's a very good advice. And then we will meet in a class, and I have a big project to you, and we will discuss it in class. So see you again for the next session. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and please help me to subscribe and like this video. Thank you. See you. Bye-bye.